Good afternoon. Let's just hop right into this, get started with our 500 millibar chart here. We do kind of have a little shortwave trough that's just starting to move into the area, and a more obvious trough to our east and to our south. And as we move into this evening, the trough that is kind of moving through now, bringing some of that snowy precipitation we're seeing now, will move out of the area and become a little more evident here. And it's possible we see another little kink right here move in tomorrow morning. And then we end up in some pretty strong flow aloft as we head into tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. And there's a pretty broad, very broad ridge that has started to build over a good portion of the country here, pretty much the western half. Now, if we go down to the 850 millibar level, we can really see that trough that is currently in that low pressure system that is currently moving through our area. It'll probably be continuing to bring some precipitation through the rest of the day into the evening, and perhaps even through some of the overnight hours. After that, things are definitely going to be more stable, especially as this ridge starts to build in and move towards our area, although we do have to keep an eye. It looks like there is a little area of low pressure system building behind it, or a little area of low pressure building. Now, let's look down at the surface. If it'll load. Give it a minute, I guess. There we go, loaded in finally. We see that current low pressure system that is moving towards and going to be impacting our area. Things are going to be warming up quite a bit tomorrow as we kind of see some warm air surge upward with that low pressure system. Although we do have some high pressure just off to our northwest that is starting to build in and move into the area. And of course, that will, as that pushes down towards us, we are going to be getting some colder air and getting back into the frigid territory as we head into Saturday morning. So now let's zoom in and actually look at our highs and lows. Again, if it wants to load. All right, here we go. Things today will be pretty stable. Looks like we are going to be in the low 20s for most of the day. And we might drop to around the 20-degree mark overnight, but it won't get much colder than that. And starting tomorrow morning and going through a good portion of the day, we are really going to warm here. It looks like we are going to get above 30 degrees. It doesn't look like we're quite supposed to get to, say, 35, but it's certainly possible we reach or even get above freezing, which would be a first in like a month. You know, at this rate, you might as well call that a heat wave. I mean, come on. But of course, the warm air is not going to last for very long, and a cold front is going to sweep in immediately after, and it's going to get cold. The temperature is going to start dropping tomorrow afternoon. This looks like it is about, excuse me. Hold on. This is noon. Yeah, so this is 3 p.m. It starts to cool off, and it just continues. It continues to get colder and colder and colder as we head into Saturday morning. By 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, we are already in the lower double digits. We're going to be, 13, 12 degrees. And by 7 a.m. on Saturday, we are looking to be below zero, which is just lovely. I love that so much. And if you can't tell, that's sarcasm. Man. Now let's move on to the precipitation. Right now it is showing that there is some precipitation just to our north and west. Of course, this is an ensemble model, meaning it is a blend of a bunch of different models, which means that some smaller details are lost and it doesn't show some lighter snow, some more transient precipitation, or some more scattered precipitation. So look outside. I see some light snowflakes falling already. So it's already pretty much here. It is expected to move closer. Maybe it gets a little bit heavier as we head into the next few hours before it just starts to dissipate, probably into some smaller showers. We do see some lake effect continue before, as we're heading through the overnight and into tomorrow morning, we see another band of snow that is likely going to have some impacts on our area move through. And do keep in mind that with the temperatures being a little bit on the warmer side for today, tonight, and especially tomorrow, there is a chance that some of this falls as mixed precipitation and or even freezing rain instead of snow. So that is something to be mindful of. It might not all be snow. There could be a little bit of freezing rain and a little bit of freezing rain or even some regular rain mixed in there. But of course, it looks like as that moves out and we head into the kind of mid-afternoon tomorrow, the snow should start to subside. And then from there, it's mainly lake effect that is going to be moving predominantly from north to south as we head into the overnight tomorrow and into Saturday morning. Now, of course, just to cover our bases, excuse me, have a little bit of a hiccup. To cover our bases, we're going to switch to the member viewer so that we can take a look at some of the individual member models and get some of those details back. And yeah, this one is accurately showing that we're already dealing with some light snow here at the current time. And we may get some heavier snow in a few hours, but not for very long. And then some sporadic showers, light showers, should continue across the state through the day or into the evening and overnight. And it picks up a bit as we head into Friday morning. However, the main punch of this may actually miss to our south, and although we are still expecting some showers through the afternoon Friday, according to this model. Now, this is just one. Let's take a look at another. This looks like a very similar situation, although it does show that some heavier snow already went through earlier this morning. I'm not sure if that was the case because I wasn't awake for that. But it looks like it has been a little bit snowy out there, so. This one is showing a similar story, though it's not as sold as some of the others on precipitation through the overnight period. And this one does bring the main punch on Friday a little bit farther north than the other two. Now let's take a look at this model. This one is still kind of latching onto the showers Friday afternoon, and this one does give us a little bit of something Friday morning. And does show maybe some heavier precipitation in the next couple hours. This one shows some broad precipitation pretty much through the whole day. Not super heavy, although there also are some heavier spots. Then overnight, it is mostly light with a couple of little slightly heavier spots. And then we do get in on that heavier action Friday morning. Not quite as much as farther south, but we do get in on it. Things largely calm down Friday afternoon, though we may see a couple more showers. So I feel like that's pretty on track. I feel like at this point, it's still up in the air whether or not we get made, it's kind of a question as to how much of this snow we're going to get Friday morning. Some models show that being a little bit farther to the south and to the west, whereas others do include us in that. So that is going to be a question and a point of uncertainty. And of course, that could impact, whether we get an inch of snow or like 2 inches of snow. Which, with that being said, let's take a look at our official snowfall forecast. The official forecast here is for us to get 1 to 2 inches of snow. And that's pretty much the same across a good portion of the state. 1 to 2 across pretty much all of our surrounding neighbors. 1 to 3 in Grand Rapids, 1 to 4 in Muskegon, 2 to 4 in Ludington. But that 2 to 4 is really the highest I'm seeing on here. If we look at our low end amount, our low end amount is 1 inch. So at the very least, we should expect to get at least an inch of snow. Our high end amount is 3 inches, however. And so, again, that one round on Friday morning, where exactly that goes, I think is going to be the difference maker as to whether or not we get the 1 to 2 or closer to 3. Now we do also have this graphic, which is just showing the areas in the Grand Rapids forecast area, because this is the Grand Rapids office. But largely across the whole region, we're expecting no to just a tiny amount of ice accumulation. That's 2/100th of an inch. Not really much at all, but just enough to maybe make those roads a little bit uncomfortable out there. So again, if you happen to be out driving and you get a little bit of freezing drizzle mixed in with some snow, or you happen to be out driving when some of those heavier precipitation rates pick up, things could get a little slippery, but this is nothing major, just something to keep in the big old brain up top. Now let's take a look at our wind. I'm just going to take a quick little breeze through here just to get an idea. Okay. So it looks like today we're going to see some winds around the 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained mark, and that's going to kind of hang around. It's going to calm down a little bit as we head into early portions of tomorrow morning, actually just tomorrow morning in general. But as we head into the afternoon and especially evening time, the winds do pick up. We're looking at perhaps 20 mile per hour sustained winds before those start to calm down once again as we head closer to Saturday morning. Now let's look at our wind gusts. Gusts today are looking like they could be around the 20 mile per hour mark, pick up maybe to 25 as we head into the evening, calming down a bit overnight, down to 10 to 15 miles per hour. But gusts tomorrow, particularly in the late afternoon into the evening, looks like they could get up 35 to 40 miles per hour. And even as we're into Saturday morning, when the temperatures are potentially below zero, we're still looking at some potentially some 20 mile an hour gusts here. So the wind chills could drop into the negative double digits. I think that is a possibility. Finally, let's take a look at some cloud cover. Of course, it's cloudy right now. It'll be cloudy this evening. It'll be cloudy overnight. It'll be cloudy in the morning. Maybe a brief break early afternoon. And finally, as we head into the evening tomorrow, the clouds will start to break free and clear up. And as we head into Saturday morning, skies should be almost perfectly clear. So, to summarize, cloudy, 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 and then suddenly not cloudy. Looks like, aside from the temperatures, Saturday might be a nice day to look out a window. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.